Gentlemen and female gentlemen, welcome one and all to a brand new episode of the Unhinged podcast. I am here with the Unhinged Hermes. She's here, and she's eating because she only eats while we record. It's true. It's a good diet. It's healthy. She's getting that David Dobrik bod.
What the fuck is that?
Oh, David Dobrik. He's a guy that almost murdered his best friend, that became sexy and ripped, and now people forgive him for almost murdering his best friend.
That should be me.
True,
Can
true.
I try to murder you?
No. Well,
Oh,
first
we
of all, not best friends.
oh.
No offense. Listen.
Oh my god,
All right,
I cannot believe you.
Don't
just
make
took
believe. Do not
you really-
make believe you're more important than you are.
Who is your? Wait. This brings up a very important question.
I'm not answering you.
Who is your
I'm
best
never
friend?
gonna tell you.
Because,
You
know,
would
at
murder
first,
them. You would literally
we
kill them.
We thought it was Mudahar already, and we saw how that ended.
It is.
So,
Maybe it is
I mean,
Mudahar.
he
What do you mean
didn't- he
ended?
didn't-
What do you mean
and then
ended?
He didn't finish
Still
the
homies.
job. He didn't actually. Oh my gosh, it is the same exact thing.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Mudahar maybe he is your best friend. He did try to murder you in
That's
like
right.
social perception, and then
That's my
he
boy. That's my guy. Post Nux
Okay.
Clarity hits hard.
It does.
True.
Honestly, there will not be a better name ever in the
No,
existence of
honestly,
editing.
that title was so good. Like, I can't even be mad. Well, anywho, today we are talking about how, by the time this podcast comes out, Trump will already be the president of the United States and God King of the known world. However, right now, Trump is not yet elected, all right? Trump is not, he is elected, but he's not yet president. So I wanted to talk about all the crazy things that Trump did before stepping into office. I think this will be a historical video. From TikTok getting banned and then unbanned 14 hours later to Israel
It didn't even last
peace treaty.
we didn't even last 24 hours.
That's
It's
pretty
fucking
late.
insanity to me.
No, but honestly,
know.
I have so many conspiracy theories about the TikTok ban that I'm very excited to talk about.
Yeah, I love conspiracy theories,
God,
of
they're so
course.
Anywho, I think a very fun one is the fact that Trump, before getting into office, like, he goes ahead and he does all these speeches, you know? And every time he does the speech, he threatens somebody else.
That's his classic.
You know, the classic the Trumpledore maneuver. He comes in and he goes, wow, what a beautiful, large room of people. A huge room. I came in here and I was like, wow, it's such a big room. And then he threatens someone. No?
It's
No, I'm
so
saying.
true. It's like on a literal script.
Like-
It's like every single he is like taking the compliment sandwich down to the most basic level into the most extreme variants. It's like he compliments something and then he reminds the world of his enemies and how his enemies would be destroyed. And then he goes back to being like, yes, but this desk, what a shiny desk we have here. Oh, it's one of the best desks I've ever seen.
Every time he talks, I'm actually in stitches. Like, because I have to remind myself that this guy is, like, you know, the president-elect of the United States, like a powerful ass man. And he goes out there and says, the Gulf of Mexico, it's beautiful. We should rename it the Gulf of America. And it's like, bro, this guy's actually like he's like, is he memeing? I don't know.
Oh gosh, the Canada thing was wild too.
And you know what?
Oh my, there's been a lot of stuff. Wait, well, there's been like the Asmongold and Elon Musk drama too. Oh my gosh, there's been so much. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I know that's
it's
not
been-
Trump related, but
it's been wild. I did want to focus on Trump. The fact that he's able to push people around so well and effectively before entering office, that before he became the president, the entire country and world has changed just by things that he has said and done before he had power, which is horrifying and also very funny.
I think the thing about Trump is kind of like there is a certain level of unpredictability with that guy because like maybe he will hit the big red shiny button or maybe he'll just be off golfing. And I think like when you have like when you're dealing with rational people, like completely rational people, you can kind of like push and tug a little bit, right? Like because you know somebody's not just gonna go right to nuking a country. But when somebody has that vibe about them, that like that certain level of like, yeah, how about we just skip all
Dude,
like
one of
how
my
about we go
favorite
from
quotes. One of my favorite quotes that I've ever heard is, "The good fear the evil, and the evil fear the madman." And like I feel like that's like, we are living through that. All right,
It
it's
is
like
true. It is
Putin will say,
true.
Trump will say, "Putin, if you don't stop, we'll bomb the hell out of you." And Putin will be like, you know, Trump, you're not gonna do that. All right, that's ridiculous. Obviously, you're not gonna do that. And Trump will be like, "Do you know that? Do you know that I'm not gonna do that?" It'll be like, "You'd have to be insane." And it's like, oh god.
Suddenly Putin's like, wait, is
Like,
he?
do you want to take that risk?
Especially because now he's also he's changed his tune about that, right? Like he was pretty like against Ukraine there for a bit, but now now he's been like a bit more friendly towards Ukraine, bro, I'd be like, suddenly Putin's like, oh well, I see that you've been having open conversation with Ukraine over there. You know, you were friends, right? Remember the basketball I gave you? Oh my gosh, we're besties. You wouldn't nuke me, right? Please.
I mean, to be honest, the fact that he could elicit a response like that before entering office is kind of terrifying. I mean, I'll be real.
Absolutely.
His term, 2016 to 2020, was the only presidential term where there were no new wars in the world. Now, you could argue that was not him. That was the term before him that gave it to him in that state or whatever. And you could argue that it was his term that caused it to bubble over. But whatever you want to say, no one was ready to start shit when that dude was in office. Like, no one was ready to start anything. Like, he's scary. He's unpredictable.
Yeah, the definitely the big thing to always consider about like especially American politics. I am not going to speak for any other politics in the fucking world because I don't know it.
I think I speak for every politics when I say, yeah, I'm sorry, continue.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, global politics, for apologizing to me for interrupting. I appreciate that, global politics. Anyways, the American politics are so fucking slow. They're so like, it is a legitimate idea that, yes, it may have been the previous administration that made it set up in a way that, just like you said, they set it up in a way where there was a brief period of peace and then it all crumbled.
Yeah, who
blah,
knows?
blah, blah.
Who knows?
Because it's literally so slow. Like, I know a lot about cybersecurity, and our government is still in the fucking Stone Ages when it comes to cybersecurity.
Dude, we'll get to the TikTok thing.
Yeah, that's gonna be a topic in the future. But
today,
that's my point. Like,
we're getting that today.
Yes, man.
No, because you say like in the future sounds like it's another episode. I'm like, bro, you are not yapping for the next 50 minutes about this.
Test me. Have you not seen my streams?
That's why I'm reminding you. I am gently nudging you back on course.
You don't have to gently. I already told them that you have my leash. You just have to tug. That's all you gotta do. You just gotta grow a pair and you just gotta yank. I keep telling everybody that, but you know. Anyways, what were you saying? You interrupted yourself. You're the only person I know that actually could do that. No, I actually completed my thought on that because I was making a point about how slow the fucking ass government is.
Oh, true. Yeah, valid. Anyway, so just recently, speaking of the Canada thing, it's like, first of all, the fact that he wants to buy Canada, United States, and Mexico and call it cum, that's awesome. I fully support
Facts.
that. The United States of cum would be huge. And I will make Mexico pay for that cum, and it'll be awesome.
You would be United States. You can't say the
United States of cum. You can do whatever he wants. Dude, it would be literally English. The language warps around his orange presence. Okay,
that is true.
You don't understand, like, bro. Dude's immune.
If it's
He's immortal.
If it's United States of cum, it would be us cum.
I'm gonna come.
I like it.
To quote Donald, I'm gonna come. Oh my God.
Cum is the greatest set of stats to ever.
True. Elon Musk will see that. I'll be so excited.
Oh
Bro calls himself Kekius Maximus on Twitter. Thinks he's cool. But anyway.
No, Elon Musk gets canceled now. He did beef against Asmon. That's crazy.
Nah, he deleted the tweets though because he is funny like that.
Wait, he deleted. He deleted his own tweets, or he deleted Asmongold's tweets?
No, his own tweets.
Oh, sorry. I needed context on that because he does own the entire fucking platform.
I can see him doing that. Boop, I control you now. It's like, dude, the fact that, like, for example, he's like, we are stopping all forms of censorship. Also, I'm banning the term cisgender because it's cringe. It's like, bro, that's censorship, bro, dude. Mm-hmm. I understand that you're doing it as a meme, but it's literally censorship.
He's literally using, he like rebranded censorship into meme.
I know, it's crazy. It's like Trump does the same. Trump just launched a crypto scam, alleged crypto scam, right? Did you see that? He released the Trump meme coin, which, let's be real, 80% of the fund of that meme coin is owned by the Trump administration. So everyone buying is only buying 20% of that, and it's what they're gonna pump. And I mean, realistically, no one's making money on that.
One of the massive things I wish fucking was absolute law, it should be in the fucking Constitution, is if you have any business, any stock, you have to sell it before you step into government.
Honestly,
I think that should be a fundamental rule.
I am so with you. I'm so with you.
Yeah.
I mean, you just Nancy Pelosi.
Yes.
She made like 54% higher than the highest hedge fund made in the last year.
Yeah.
Like, why? It's because of insider trading, allegedly.
Yeah, literally.
Like, get out of here.
Why? Because she is literally, no, she's worse than the insider trading. She's literally the person that makes the rules. She does the regulation. The entire government is what does. So they're like, yes, this bill is about to be passed. Time to sell. Like,
no, but like the craziest thing is, like, you'll have like pharmaceutical companies that do the same thing. Pharmaceutical companies also, they'll only they'll push propaganda to make people buy pharmaceuticals that people people will invest in before they push that propaganda. Like, it's all part of this.
One step at a time.
Oh,
one step at
God.
a time, Nux. One step at a time. We can only handle one battle at a time.
You mean the pharmaceuticals and the stock market and the insider trading?
Yeah.
But they're all basically the same idea. It's the idea that like you'll have these people that, like, for example, the TikTok ban, which we will get to in the future, as you put it today. We will get there. But the
immediate future.
The fact that right after Zuckerberg decides he's playing ball with Trump and censorship,
which was inevitable
because of Trump, obviously. Which, by the way, I also think that's a big Trump W in general. The fact that before he even enters office, every company is there and is like, yeah, we're stopping censorship. It's like, all right, dude, all you grifters, you know. But the fact that I think it's a good thing that he wants to end censorship, for sure. Obviously, I don't think it comes from a good place. I think it comes from I'm going to play ball with the new administration place. Yeah. But suddenly, Meta and Twitter are both playing golf with the government, and the biggest competitor, TikTok, gets banned.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about it too is like capitalism always plays ball with the administration. Like, especially like when you're doing stocks and everything, one of the best ways to predict how the fucking stock market is going to move is based off of what administration is going into office. Like, Democrats.
To be honest, the fact that Tesla like blew up when Trump won is insane. Because why does electric cars? What does electric cars have to do with Trump? Who, by the way, is pro oil and anti-electric cars. He is pro oil. The only way gas cars, like, that's his thing. So why did it jump? Because the name Elon was attached to Trump.
That's exactly it. Literally, Tesla would be in the same exact ship as every other EV company if it wasn't for the fact that Elon made it very clear and very public that he is, quote unquote, Trump's like right-hand man. At which point, now everybody is buying into Tesla because they see that and they're like, oh, he's gonna get special treatment. Which, yeah, he will.
I mean, I don't know if it's just the special treatment. I feel like it's a whole mix of things. I think being that he's so connected to the Tesla name, you know, he started the company and all that. I think that people see that.
Well, he didn't start Tesla; he bought Tesla.
Or he bought Tesla, but he's definitely the brand, right? The Tesla brand is very connected to him. Like, there was one point that as he would tweet, the stock would go up and down based on his tweets. Like,
I know about that.
That was crazy.
No, he's still doing that. SEC or the SEC.
Yeah, SEC manipulation.
It's literally suing his fucking shit out again because they were like, you need to stop tweeting. Like, he literally had a tweet ban because it was like it was literally stock market manipulation.
I know, but think about how insane that is. That's not even. It's not manipulating it with anything material. It's like, it's hype. It's only hype. It's crazy.
It's hype, but also like.
Also, I have a Tesla.
Yeah. So what do I care about that? I don't have a Tesla.
It's pretty nice. I really like it.
Yeah. Is it? Do you even drive it?
Yeah.
Do you even know what it feels like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I've actually thought about getting a Tesla because I really don't like oil companies, truth be told. So I'm like, yeah, you know what?
I'll be real. To be honest, Tesla, it's not even like that expensive. Like, people think it's like a fancy car. It's really not that expensive.
Yeah, but I'm an extremely broke god right now. I don't know if you guys realize that. Yeah. I mean, granted, I would only buy a Tesla when I want to drive around. I want to enjoy the world through the land dwellers thing, because beyond that, I just fly around. Truth, right?
Right,
obviously.
yeah.
True. But yeah, like, no, and I mean, this has been a big like point of contention about Tesla. Like, it's been a phenomena to watch, literally, because yes, usually the company is its own brand. Apple is Apple with Tim Cook. Freaking Microsoft is Microsoft with what is it, Satya? Like so it's like you don't think of these people when you think of the brand. You think of the brand. You think of a fucking apple with a bite
Tesla,
out of it.
But like when it comes,
you think of Elon. So it's like, it is a lucrative sum of influence to have, because yeah, he could literally just be like, he could go to Twitter and be like, man, it looks like we're not going to be able to get, you know, the new model out for another extra year. And he knows the stock market's going to literally drop on that news.
Yep.
So like,
no, but he could do anything and it would manipulate. Like, that's why it's so weird and funny, and the laws get so wild when it comes to, like, you know, influencers and bigger.
Dude, influence the influence era is kind of insane right now.
It is. And I could see us getting to a point where, like, dude, if Mr. Beast made some sort of statement about something, like, he could manipulate the stock market with his size. He absolutely
probably
could. And obviously he's not doing that on the daily, or he would get absolutely obliterated, because the government currently, I don't think, fully controls him. So they wouldn't love that so much. But I mean, the way it stands, it's getting really scary. Like, I see a lot of people throwing around the term oligarchy, that it's like the rich people at the top are just getting more and more powerful as time goes on. And I mean, that's capitalism. In a nutshell.
Late stage, yeah. I mean, it is happening. Like, we can obviously see that, because freaking even in what is mind-blowing is how accelerated it is for me. Because, like, back in the day, it was like you were rich if, like, a grandparent I once knew, she literally would buy a freaking piece of gum for like a couple pennies. Like, milk was like freaking 60 cents. If you were rich if you had like a couple $1,000 kind of situation.
Well,
now,
I mean, wealth has changed dramatically over the course of history. I mean, 1,000 years ago, you were rich if you weren't starving, okay? Like, again...
Oh, no, I'm so broke! Oh, no!
No, but...
Even to old day standards!
Yeah, right. Oh, God. No, but, like, you gotta realize, for example, I mean, this is also a wild topic, but a couple thousand years ago, you know, people would marry off their daughters, like, at really young ages, because they couldn't afford to feed them. So they would marry off their daughter to a husband that could actually give them food, so they literally don't starve to death. Like, that's England. You know, 200 years ago, I think even they would have like something like that, where the age of consent was like, I don't even know consent, but the age of marriage was like 12, and they would marry off their kids just so that they wouldn't die of hunger. Like, I don't know. We look, wealth now is very different than wealth then. Wealth a few hundred years ago was, you don't have to worry about food. Wealth now is you could buy a government.
A government's on the easy side. We're talking yachts that are bigger than massive cities. We're talking like, and that's the thing.
It's wild to see it go like that, to be honest.
It's just at the core of it all. At the core of it all, it's just power. No matter what generation, no matter what timeline, no matter what everything, humans, there's always going to be a section of humans. There's going to be a niche of humans that want power. And whatever
the niche
that
is
power
everyone.
is
everyone wants power.
I don't know if everybody particularly
I think
wants
everyone
power.
wants power. I'd say over 50% of people want power. We'll do. How about that?
Definitely over 50%. But I do think there's a lot of people that, I mean, at that point, you would kind of have to define what power is, because you could say you want like power over in your own life or anything.
Yes,
but
true.
I am talking about.
But I am talking about like. But power over your own life is just is the thing you want if you don't have power over your own life. And then once you get that, you'll want power over the next thing. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. And the more power you have, the more power you'll want. It's not like it'll ever end. So I think everyone wants power, except some people are in such a state of powerlessness that the only thing they can imagine at that point is power over their own life. But once they get that, they'll just want the next level.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I definitely know it's not everybody, but there is a good amount. And the absolute, like, going back to the absolute power corrupts absolutely kind of phrase, that's kind of where, I mean, it's always back in the day, it's been the nobles, like, you know, the kings and everything of the sort. Same thing is just happening now to a mind-breaking degree, though, because, like, I don't even know, we're getting to the point where people are so rich, a very small percentage of people is so rich, they can literally buy countries. Like, what if Elon was like, hi, Greenland, I'm gonna buy you on behalf of America? Like, it's like,
I mean, the thing is, ultimately, you know, sales do require consent. So if Denmark doesn't want to sell Greenland isn't for sale, no matter how much is offered.
Then war!
Oh, that might happen, but the crazy thing, dude, did you see the Trump speech where he said, we want Greenland, we want Mexico, we want Canada, and then, like, there was some reporter that was basically saying, like, but, like, can you at least promise them that you won't use military force? And he's like, no promises, not ruling anything out. And it's like, oh my god, wait, dude, wait, these are your allies, bro. And it's like, the funniest thing is, like, when I saw that, I was like, oh, like, this is just funny, right? He's joking. Like, this is a joke. He's not declaring war on Canada. He's not capturing a couple of igloos and polar bears. He doesn't give a shit, okay? But,
well, that's kind of like, go ahead, sorry.
And also, I don't think he wants that entire population of people that will likely not vote for him.
Yeah. Well, I don't. Like, that's the thing. Like, back to the original statement that you made earlier, like, evil people fear madness. And, like, and that's the thing about Trump Trump. He says so many outlandish things,
And
like insanely outlandish
Trudeau
things where it's like,
left. Trudeau quit. Bro,
what?
the Prime Minister of Canada said, I'm done because
Yeah,
of Trump.
well-
and he
well,
wasn't
yeah,
in
and
office yet, and he bullied him out.
yeah, because it's literally like
That's awesome.
the vast majority of people would look at like what Trump says and they have like your kind of response, right? Like they're like, oh my gosh, this is crazy, LOL,
Yep.
like Raffle Lamau kind of
Raffle
situation.
Lamau.
But like then the thing is, it opens the door for Trump to literally be like, all right, well now we're going to war with Canada, and everybody's like
what?
wait, what? And they're like, he's like, what do you mean what? Like I actually said that, and then like there's supporters who are like, yeah, you dumbasses, he literally said it. What do you mean? Like he
the
said
funny
that.
thing is, I always think of like Schrodinger's douchebag. You know that phrase?
What?
It's like Schrodinger's douchebag is when someone makes a joke, someone says a statement, and to test the waters, if people think, if people agree or not. If people agree, then he meant it, and if they don't agree, then it was a joke, right?
Yep.
Like so,
Yep.
I sometimes wonder if he's like,
drives me nuts.
if he's Schrodinger's douchebagging around when he's like, we're gonna conquer Greenland, we're gonna take it over, it's gonna be ours. I love Greenland. I walked to Greenland and I was like, wow, what a country, Greenland. It'll be ours, right? Like he'll give one
He's
of those.
like touching the dirt, caressing
Yeah,
Green-
exactly.
I'm bringing you back home, Greenland.
Yeah,
Soon you will be with us.
True. So like if he does something like that and everyone was like, actually yes, we should conquer Greenland. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. He might do that.
It will be really interesting to me. One thing that I will find interesting is even over the fact that there's been kind of a bit of a fracture. Now I think it got mended pretty quickly, but the whole Elon being
was
for
such
like
a nothing
the
burger fracture.
Yeah.
It was,
but like
it was
the B1,
important
what was
for
it?
like
The
a day.
B1? Was it like the
The-
B1 situation?
Yeah, the B1,
Or-
the visa that for skilled immigrants.
Yep.
Like to
And
import
so
people
like
if they're skilled.
it was interesting though, the fact that like some of Trump's like most loyal like stood against that. So one thing I am super curious about, and hopefully I don't have to learn. I mean, frankly, I hope I don't have to fucking learn. I really do want Trump to just say what Trump says and then go golfing. I really do. But I would be curious to see if he actually was like, okay, so America is going to buy an entire country, because usually a lot of Republicans, and like one of his big things he stood on was the fact that like lowering taxes for like the working class and everything like that. Buying a fucking country is not going to lower taxes.
Well, I mean, his argument is that he's swapping it out for tariffs, right? Like he wants to tariff other countries when they import shit, right? Like he wants to tariff Canada and Mexico and basically everywhere, and China.
Yeah, but
China. I know China very well. I know China.
The thing about it though is, even if he's like, I get that balance from like the tariff like to the consumer level kind of thing, but like you can't tariff somebody so hard where you have enough funds to be able to buy a fucking country,
Dude,
let alone
I'm
three
not saying-
countries.
I'm not. Dude, he's not buying.
Let alone
He's not buying three countries.
It's
although
not
it
a
would be very
BOGO
funny.
situation. You don't buy two countries and get one free.
I mean, think about like if he buys Canada, then Canada's gonna be paying him taxes. So like, I mean.
Hey, you know what?
calm
That
down.
might be a spin on it.
Calm down.
You
But-
could be like, imagine America. We could buy the other two. We could tax them, but America will not be taxed.
See, Trump comes into office. So I was playing Age of Empires. It was really fun. It was really cool. They had this interesting concept. I was like, uh-oh. Yeah, no, but I don't know. Again, that's why I take these things mostly as memes. The Greenland one, I think he is actually kind of serious about, which is interesting.
Another one is the Panama one that he's like pretty
Yeah.
hardcore on, which I could see there being actual like monetary value on that one.
I could see there being friction there for sure. No, but the point is, like, ultimately, no one knows, because every single politician in the history of the world lies to get into office. They all do, because they want to get elected.
Lies.
True.
Everybody
But politicians, I think, are, you know how you tell if a politician is lying?
Say that one more time, you cut out.
Do you know how to tell if a politician is lying?
Because they're speaking.
His mouth is moving!
Yeah.
Yeah, true. But like the thing is, everyone says things so that you elect them, they get into office, and they very often just don't follow what they say. Like, I would love to see Trump somehow shut down a lot of this censorship garbage. Like, I think that would be fantastic. I hate the misinformation and stuff. But we'll see. Only time will tell. What I do know is before going into office, with just a couple of scary statements, he has actually shifted a lot of things in the world. Like, for example, when they asked him about the Israel thing. So, TLDR, all right? Okay, there's no way to TLDR this beef, all right? The Israel drama is insane, all right? It's been going on for a very long time, all right?
I remember when it first started, and literally somebody came up to me and they're like,
how do you remember when it first started? How do you remember when it started 3,000 years ago?
Well, I meant the recent one, okay? Oh. I'm not going to fucking ancient pilgrim eras. I'm talking about the most recent iteration. Don't worry, there will be more iterations in the future, I'm sure. Okay, you guys have a long history.
The TLDR is Abraham discovered God. Then
and then conflict.
Then all right, but anyway, so
they literally came to me and they were like, yeah, this is gonna be over in 2 weeks. And I was like, ha! I was like, no, it's not. No, because they had plans on like going to Israel and stuff like that. And I was like, it's not. You're not going to Israel. Like, it's not gonna be a 2-week little wham bam thank you ma'am situation. And they're like, you don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, oh yeah. Yeah. This is I'm gonna go play my video games now.
It in fact was longer than 2 weeks.
As we see.
So the thing is, they were trying to broker a peace deal for a very long time. So basically, Hamas terrorist organization, they captured a bunch of hostages, and it was fucking awful. And it's a tragedy for sure. So anyway,
absolutely.
Long war later, and a lot of deaths later. Tragic shit. And basically, they were trying to broker some sort of exchange deal to get these hostages back in exchange for, like, prisoners, like murderers that they were going to swap for these hostages for a very long time. Obviously, no one really wanted to do this kind of thing, to be honest. Because, it's a very long, complicated political thing that I'm not going to make believe I understand.
It's extremely messy, too. It's extremely messy as well, because, like, again, these are human lives that are on, like, the line and everything.
Sure.
It's messy. It's messy all around.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's very gross and very ugly, and basically nothing was moving for a very long time. 15 months Biden was trying to make some sort of thing. Trump wins the election. He gives a speech. Someone asks him, it's like, what are you going to do about that? And he's like, if Hamas doesn't give the hostages back, all hell will break loose in the Middle East, and we will wipe out every single person of it. Like, he gave like this whole fucking hell to pay speech. And boom, deal made. Like, dude, move. Yeah. Things move.
Well, yeah.
And Israel thanked Trump.
But they fucking did.
They didn't thank Biden. Why? Biden's the president. He's the president. Biden tried to take credit, but they all thanked Trump anyway. Even CNN credited Trump. CNN.
I mean, I would actually, because I mean, I kind of made this prediction anyways, because the reality of it is Biden was trying to like find the most fairest deal between both sides, and that's why it literally wasn't moving, because they're like, no, I want this, blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing. I knew when Trump came in, it was going to end quickly, because literally Trump literally is just going to be like,
he'll make a threat.
We'll just send our military over.
No, but like, you can't see Trump being like, if missiles were flying into New York from New Jersey, we would wipe out New Jersey. Like, bro, this is the type of guy that you're dealing with, and you don't want to mess with this guy. You know?
Yeah. Well, and he made his. That is one thing. Like, besides all the words that come out of his mouth. Like, Trump doesn't play the middle ground. He doesn't try to find what the fairest deal is out of all of them. He says, this is where I'm standing.
He's like, I want it done, do it now, or else.
Yeah, you have until I step in the fucking office to get this shit figured out, and you have to decide. So, yeah, then it's like,
and to be honest, Biden was kind of a pushover. Like, no one was worried about him. No one in the world.
Well, and that's the, like, sad part about it. Like, I mean, I'm not a proprietor of, like, ruling with fear. I think there's a lot of character that is shown when you have the capacity to actually try to have like a negotiation kind of thing. But I also, I know I'm not extremist enough for the world, but I also know that there is certain situations where you should have a strong hand. Like, you should be like,
I don't know, if you're a ruler, then I don't think that necessarily you should rule with fear. Obviously, ruling with love is better, but ultimately you are a ruler, and if love isn't gonna work, then you're gonna need an alternative. Also, you gotta realize this war that's going on in the Middle East, these aren't like Trump's people. Like, sure, they're maybe Trump's allies, but they're not like Trump's people. The ultimate people that actually voted for Trump, they really love Trump. Like, they really do. And I don't know, I don't think he rules through fear. I just think he's unhinged a little bit, and no one wants to deal with that shit.
Yeah, but I would definitely say, like, obviously Hamas is gonna fear Trump though, right? Dude, like Gaza and stuff. Like, it literally Trump
of
goes
course
on. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying by like ruling with fear, because Trump didn't say, all right guys, let's figure this out, he said, all right, this is what's about to happen. If I walk into office, you're gonna pay some hell. I will raise.
But they basically all did that. Like, Hezbollah also. They basically also signed a peace treaty right when Trump won the election. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because the thing is, Trump will be like, bomb the shit out of them. Like,
that's my point. That's literally the entire point of that. We're literally like, yeah, he literally, and again, like we said, the madness factor, right? He genuinely has that madness factor where anybody who's rational is like, he might actually do it. Like, again, when you're dealing with rational people, there's generally a very powerful barrier that's like, yeah, like if I fucking slap you, I have a lot of confidence in my mind that you're not about to fucking cold clock punch me in the face.
God,
but if I slapped yeah,
I want to even if you didn't
somebody,
slap.
Wait, what?
What?
Huh?
What
What did you say? You want to say that again?
I think I knew. You were saying?
No. I would definitely. You can go into detail about what you just said too. I mean, I can sip my coffee and just give you a moment of silence, so you can describe in deep detail. On,
you have a problem, okay? There will never be ever anything between us. You can stop imagining, okay? Listen, you're trying, you're attempting it. I appreciate the valiant attempt. I understand, okay? If I ever do spank you, it will not be in a sexy way. I swear.
I don't think you can spank me in a way that wouldn't be sexy.
That I
would be interested to
okay?
try, though.
Go
we could,
now,
we could...
please. We're not trying anything. I would never touch you. Filth.
Good. The stink aura is working properly.
True, valid.
I'm derailed. I totally forgot what we were talking about.
Bro, the fact that I'm sorry, every time I think of stinky things, I've been laughing recently because it's like Elon Musk, owner of Twitter, one of the most important people in the world. Yeah. He argued with a guy who wipes tooth blood on his walls, who uses a dead rat as an alarm clock. He's beefing with a guy who's living in human sewage.
This is the greatest. This is so far the greatest headline I've seen in all of probably the last 10 years.
It's so good. It's so good.
And even the depth of which the fact that Elon literally leaked the
Oh my god, a monumental L. Oh my god.
Asmon just reacts to it. He's like, yeah, well, I guess this just happened. The world's richest man leaked my DM.
Dude, the fact that the DMZ leaked also, it's like, he says to Asmon, hey, would you consider uploading videos on X? Asmon's like, I have to talk. Sure, that sounds cool. I'll talk to my editors. They'll get it done. And he's like, who are these mysterious editors? And it's like, I got these two people. They upload my content in places. And he leaks that to prove that Asmongold is not his own man. He's merely a puppet of these mysterious editors that control his every whim. But it's his employees.
I think Asmongold kind of hit it on the head, though, in regards to that event. Because it reminded me of, so once upon a time back in the day, when Bill Gates still owned Microsoft, he did like an interview. And in that interview, like the person just asked, it was supposed to be like a fun, casual thing. And the interviewer asked, hey, how much do you think a bag of pizza rolls costs? And,
oh God, I remember this.
Bill Gates he was like, I don't know, like $10, $15 or something. Like, I think that just showcases, I think Elon's in that category where he's just so fucking rich that when he heard the word editors, he's thinking some multimedia conglomerate.
Yeah, he's thinking New York Times editors,
Yeah, he's thinking New York Times. He's thinking, when reality is just Asmon. It's the Asmon
It's his employees. Because, and the thing is, like, Elon, you don't even have to think about it too hard. Just if Asmongold streams for 8 hours a day and he uploads videos while he's streaming, how on earth does he do that?
Yeah.
He has employees that do that. Those are his editors, the one uploading the videos. And he wanted Asmon to upload videos on X. How would he do that? He talked to his editors.
Yeah.
The people that upload his videos. Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's really not that complicated.
No, you wouldn't think, but I went through a phase where I definitely thought
4chan.
Yeah, I went through a phase where I actually thought rich people were rich because they were smart, and then I realized that rich people aren't rich because they're smart at all.
Of course not. They're just rich because the Jewish cabal chose them.
I know, right? When do I get that? When's that my position?
I've spoken to the cabal. Sorry.
Thank you.
Been declined.
What do you mean, sorry?
Your application has been declined.
Gosh dang it.
Maybe
I'm gonna have to rise up my own cabal
in 2026.
now. You know what? No, I'm gonna find my own cabal. I'm gonna have strippers and hookers and blackjack and money too. Get wrecked, nerd.
That's crazy. Yeah, but it is kind of hilarious. I do think that there is a correlation between smart and rich, but I think the correlation is a lot less real than I think most people think. I think luck is a bigger factor, to be honest, than smart when it comes to
I think there's a lot of factors. I think luck can definitely be a factor. I think obviously being born into a fucking rich ass family that can write you a blank check is also great.
Obviously, I'm talking about self-made people, okay? Not born into wealth and winning lotteries, all right?
Yeah, I do think luck is a factor, but I also I know as well that determination can actually go farther than luck, because I do know some like really, really lucky people. And the interesting thing about lucky people is they don't particularly know why they're being successful. They just know it's happening. Whereas if you're a determined person, you generally find out like the fundamental building blocks that create success. So it's like you can kind of somebody who's determined generally has more endurance, whereas somebody who's lucky tends to be like coasting on like a wave, and they don't really know how they're getting there. They just know that what they're doing is working.
I know China very well. Many sweatshops, children labor. We love them.
Oh my
Thank
gosh.
you, China. Very cool. All right, but no, I do agree with you. I think there are absolutely many factors into wealth. There are many factors into everything, and I agree that it's not just the end all of smart.
Luck definitely makes shit a lot easier, though. Oh my fucking gosh.
And so does being smart, and so does being determined, and all these factors definitely come together, and all definitely help. But dude, Elon, why are you like this? It was really funny. I enjoyed it a lot, to be honest.
Oh, that was probably some of the best Elon drama that I've seen in a long time.
It was like the best Elon drama I've seen in a long time. And the funny thing is, it came off the back of the best Elon drama I've seen in a long time. Right? The cheating in the video game thing. Like, that's how this all started.
Yeah. I consider that part of the same drama.
Oh, I considered it like two separate arcs. It's like Naruto and Naruto Shippuden is like the cheating in the video game, and then leaking Asmongold's DMs that he's not his own man.
I don't know why people thought that Elon wasn't cheating. Like,
same.
Games,
I predicted this since the Elden Ring days. He showed his build. He had 2 swords in his right hand and 2 shields in his left hand. He was playing on heavy.
Yeah.
Like, get out of here.
These games aren't Stardew Valley. Like, these are games that take a lot of time. Like, they take a huge time investment to learn everything because they have such depth to them.
True.
And Elon just fundamentally...
He's on Twitter all day.
Yeah.
Even
that's what
just
I'm saying.
minus the Twitter time, he doesn't have time to grind these games.
Exactly. There is just fundamentally a time restriction where he does not have the ability or he does not have the time to invest in being that good at any of these video games.
But the funniest thing is
he has the money. He has the money.
If he would have paid someone else to reach the #1 in Path of Exile or whatever, and he would have just as a flex been like, I have the #1 Path of Exile account in the world. I'm great. Like, I paid someone to do it. Like, honestly, that's just a cool flex. Okay, it's a little cringe, but it's a cool flex. Okay, he has so much money to burn. He literally could just pay people to make him the #1 in everything in the world. Okay, it's a little cringe.
I think that would probably piss off gamers, though.
Absolutely.
We generally don't like that stuff.
I know.
Yeah.
But on the one hand, it would be a cool flex. But it's the fact that he felt the need to lie and manipulate and come up with all this. For what? For what? To make believe you're better at a video game?
Fragile ego issues.
And the funniest part is, no one is going to be impressed by this, okay? Joe Rogan isn't going to, be impressed by this. And gamers are going to obviously know that he's cheating. So, it's mind-bogglingly sad and pathetic. And I think it's kind of wholesome in a way, like from the perspective of us little people that aren't worth billions of dollars. If this guy is worth $400 billion, owns Twitter, friends with Trump, bullying England, okay? This guy felt the need to cheat in a video game because he has low self-esteem. It's like, us little people, we gotta count our lucky stars that we don't feel as pathetic as that.
That's a typical Tuesday for us. We're like, we just got our ass fucking killed. Dude, there's like oh my gosh, the freaking pirate software drama too regarding like the hardcore run. Oh my gosh, there's so many
but that was
savage.
So lame. That was so lame.
What?
That drama
Dude, that was
so
insane. That was insane. I can't believe that's a whole different topic. But yeah, I could only imagine what would happen. The only thing I can think about is literally if Elon tried to do a hardcore run fucking World of Warcraft.
Yeah. No, but for me it was so fascinating to look into the mind of the guy that felt the need to do that. And I told my dad this story. You know, my dad thinks Elon Musk's a genius. So I told my dad this story, this Elon Musk fake gaming cringe, right? Obvious stupidity. And my dad is like, his first response is, well, that's innovative.
Innovative.
I'm like, what's innovative? He's like, it's like no one would think to do something like this. I was like, yes, but
what do you mean buying somebody to
this is a really
fake?
Stupid lie. He's like, yes. I mean, to be honest, if he's that rich, you could pay people to believe he's taller, just like you could pay people to believe he's better at video games. Like, it's an obvious obvious lie. And it's like, I'm like, yeah, but okay, all right, okay.
It's an obvious lie, indeed. Well, and that's the thing. Like, I like how you said that. I could just imagine your dad being like his gears are just turning in his head. Like
he was so shocked that someone would do something so stupid. It was so original in its stupidity. Like, I've never seen anyone do something this dumb in the public eye.
I mean, well, in the public eye, I suppose, but cheating in gaming is pretty fucking normal.
I'm not talking about cheating in gaming, all right? Dream cheated on his Minecraft speedrun, all right? Or whatever, to get clout. But he is a Minecrafter. For him, again, I think that's incredibly lame and stupid that he felt the need to cheat in a Minecraft speedrun. Obviously, that's fucking stupid as shit. But he's a Minecrafter. Minecraft is his identity, right? People know him as a good Minecrafter. If he also gets a speedrun, record or whatever, that'll end up on his list of achievements as a Minecraft goat. Elon Musk is the richest guy in the world. He owns Twitter. He owns the country. He's bullying England.
Yeah,
and
I don't know.
He's flexing about fake stats in a video game. Like, that's so pathetic. That he didn't even get. It's so pathetic.
It's interesting though, because it's kind of the same exact mentality that generally all cheaters have, though, right? So like, it's just cheating stems from a very fragile ego on not being able to better yourself the legitimate way, so you find the shortcut. That's kind of what Elon's done his entire life. Like, he always finds the shortcut to getting somewhere, and it's effective. He's the world's richest man doing it right now, but of course he's gonna cheat, because that's what all cheaters do. It's like literally their fundamental pillar of personality, where they're like, I don't have the ability to actually get better, so I'm gonna pretend that I'm better than what I am, kind of thing. And I have the money to do that. I have the money to make it seem that way. Now, granted, again, gamers are very, very accustomed to this. Cheating happens all the time in the gaming sphere, especially if you're playing PvP games, Path of Exile, Diablo. We know cheaters when we see cheaters. You with Elden Ring, because you have a lot of experience in Elden Ring, you saw through that. Like, we gamers, anybody who's no life, because gamers like to know life certain games, so we can see a nooblet from a fucking mile away. And when you have somebody over here claiming that they're the top of the top of the toppity tippity top, and we're like, that's not a good build. Like you're not even doing the basics. There's no fucking shot
the crazy it's an obvious fraud. Like, it's not even a good fraud. Like, if you're gonna try to defraud us, at least try, bro. At least try. But like,
same thing in, like,
I don't know. I agree with you that people that take shortcuts tend to be people that take shortcuts everywhere. And anyone that is that rich probably took a shortcut or two.
Same thing happens in Overwatch too. Like, for me specifically, Overwatch, like, I know when somebody has cheated their way up into like one of the top slots because of positioning. Like, somebody that's just using an aimbot in Overwatch just runs down the center,
being like, good example. That's such a good example. Why would anyone ever use an aimbot? Ever? It trivializes the game for you and everyone else.
And it's like literally a self-esteem thing. But I know when somebody's cheating in that because their positioning is awful. They're running down the center. They're not doing maneuvers. They're not using angles to their advantage. I know they cheated to get to a high rank because of that
the thing.
fact.
I think anyone that's in any sort of field, anyone in a field knows when other people in that field are cheating, right?
Yeah, it's expertise.
Because you are an expert in a certain area. Like, I'll give you an example. I could look at a stream and I could tell you immediately if they're botting viewers, okay?
Yeah.
Like, I'll just know. Like, I'll see how fast the chat is moving. I'll see how fast their reactions are. I'll see how many donations are coming in. And like,
you're the chat whisperer. You stroke the chat and you're like, tell me your secret.
Exactly. And I'll immediately know. I'll immediately know if it's botted or not. And I guess that's just normal, right? I'll know if views are botted.
For you,
people pay for views because that's my field. You know, I do YouTube thing, right?
You've been in it for a very long time. You have expertise in it. You just experience. Like, it's the experience factor. Like, if you have a wealth of experience in something, it is a lot easier for you to see things. Like legitimately. And
I think a really good one of this is like in like, let's say, religion. Okay, like someone that is of a certain religion, they'll hear someone talking about that religion and they'll be like, holy crap, this guy knows nothing. This guy has no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah.
You know, like, just because you're familiar with the traditions, you're familiar with the philosophy, and that person is so obviously not. He's trying to make believe he is, but he's so obviously not. It's like,
well, there's like another thing too, is what I generally concede on is I like art, and I know like a basic level of expertise in art, but AI has gotten so good that I fundamentally, unless the AI art is like really, really bad, like I can't tell the difference anymore. Like, I legitimately cannot tell the difference between AI, like well done AI art, and real art anymore. I don't have that expertise. So I literally concede.
For some I do.
I concede.
For sure.
I concede to to artists. Like, I'll literally be like, hey, you spent your entire life in art. Like, you have the expertise. Like, is this real? Is this not real? Like, what are your thoughts? Because they have that. People do the same thing with like writing for me or, you know, video games.
It's wild. It's wild. And to think that someone like Mr. Musk thought he'd get away with it is insane. It's insane that he thought gamers would actually believe it.
Yeah, well, of course he's the world. There is no shot in my mind that man doesn't believe he is untouchable. There's no, he 100% believes that in my mind, because he pretty much is, right? Like, he has the world's most amount of money. He has one of the most influential platforms. He is besties with a literal president of one of the most powerful nations in the world now. Like, he absolutely feels he is untouchable. So of course he decided to take a stroll through the streets with the gamer peasants and forgot that we know life gaming. Of course we're gonna see that. And he's like, what do you mean?
And it's so funny because I feel like at that point, like, when all the people in your life around you like dick ride you, like that's the people that he interacts with on Twitter, like the dick riders. And obviously, like, in politics, everyone just cuddles up with other powerful people, right? Like, he's used to that, I think. I don't think he's, like, ready or willing to accept the fact that people like peons, like me, or Asmongold, or whatever, are gonna call him out for this shit. Because why would we not just dick ride him? Like, like, he
everybody in his life.
He's Elon fucking Musk. This guy, you know.
The hero of humanity!
Like, why wouldn't we? And I made this observation in a video, but it's really interesting because Asmongold was not the biggest creator that called him out, right? There was this guy Quinn. He's the one that caught him cheating. Then Moist Critical made a video on it. And Moist Critical's video, by the way, has 3 times the views of Asmongold's. Yeah. Okay.
Quinn, for the record, he's super deep into that scene. Like the he was a massive Diablo player for an extremely long time. And then he switched over to PoE. So he has like built his entire IP around these kind of video games. He's very well known in that scene.
Yeah, no, I definitely, I hear ya. He obviously knows his shit. Like, his video is put together really, really well. But like, why did Elon Musk target Asmongold? And I think the answer is really simple. Because you know what you're afraid of? You're afraid of someone that's supposed to be your dick rider calling you out. Because if you're on the right and someone on the left calls you out, well, that's just part of the job. Of course, the people on the left are going to call you. But that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to trigger the libs, bro. Right?
Yeah.
And if you're on the left,
that's the mission.
That's the mission. And if you're on the left and someone on the right calls you out, then like, dude, you're doing your job. You're triggering the chuds, bro. Right? And it's like that every time. But if someone on your own side calls you out, right? If someone on your own side calls you out, it's so much more dangerous. You know, like Ben Shapiro calls out Hassan, literally will not affect the guy. All right, Ben Shapiro's audience and Hassan's audience have 0 crossover. Destiny calls out Hassan. They are blood rivals for life. They want each other dead in the street. Right?
Somebody gets removed from a platform.
Interesting. Weird how that happened. But like, when you have
crazy.
someone like Quinn, he's a gamer. Like, they do not really necessarily have super overlap. Moist Critical, he's not like, you know, I guess more, you know, counterculture like Asmongold is. And I have Asmongold who does cover political things, who does have this anti-censorship mindset, who definitely has an overlapping ideology as well as overlapping fan base to some degree with Elon Musk. If someone like him isn't willing to dick ride, then that's a threat.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you nailed it. Like, actually. Absolutely.
Yeah, so again, that's why I think he like singled him out specifically. And it's interesting to see. But Elon and Trump, I think, are very different breeds. I think Elon has never been vilified like to the level Trump was, and I think Trump is right now feeling so invincible by the fact that he was vilified for everything that I think he thinks he can get away with anything. And to be honest, I think he could get away with
time will tell
anything. Like, for example, he's called Hitler, all right, all the time.
Yeah,
all the time. Bro wakes up, called Hitler, goes on with his day. Now, he's also called a crypto scammer because he released this shitcoin. What's worse, a crypto scammer or a Hitler? Well, he's already been labeled Hitler. So the crypto scammer title is literally not going to do anything to this guy. Like, and he will always be able to get away with this stuff. And,
well, I think there's something that's very interesting that happens. And I think it's extremely sad because, and it's triggered by social media. I think there's a conditioning that kind of happens. And I think you're actually kind of like a victim to this as well. well, where I think certain people just get lambasted with so much hate on the regular that I think
it numbs
hate,
you.
yeah, you become desensitized, you become disattached. Like it's just, you're just like, whatever. And I do think that's extremely sad because I think it detaches like empathy to a certain degree too. Cause I think, I think Trump lacks a lot of empathy because he's just like every day he's just like, well, more people are hating on me. I'm Hitler number 69289, mine 9 million kind of thing. And I think, and it's not even just like big entities like him. I've seen it with like smaller entities, like especially in the field where like somebody will release something they're extremely passionate about, but it's like not the best of the best of the best. And then they get like a flood of people being like, this is shit, this is crap, how you're fucking awful, you're so stupid, why don't you just end it all because you're trash. And then they're like, they have to go through this like mental fortitude thing where they either like give up on their dreams because it hurts so bad, or they become completely desensitized and they're just like, well, I'm just gonna keep doing whatever the fuck I want to do and fuck all of you.
I do know what you mean. I think it makes people stronger if they could live through it, and I think it makes people more comfortable to actually share their actual thoughts. But I think the flip side is it could radicalize some people for sure.
Yeah,
like
I think I think it only makes you stronger if you can still remember empathy. That like remembering that it's not all the people that hate you. There is there is X amount of people that still care about you. And
I mean, I think Trump absolutely knows 100% that there are a lot of people that love him. Like, because there are a lot of people that love Trump, and I think he knows that for sure. I just think he's been so vilified. Like, what are you gonna call him that's worse than what you've already called him? And the thing is, I think it's only making him stronger. If literally branding him as Hitler by 90% of the media didn't work, then nothing will work. No amount of name calling will ever get him. Never.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I don't know if anything can like.
I mean, I saw there was this one lawyer that explained to me, and this was like, it was a funny concept. I don't necessarily fundamentally agree with this concept, but I think it is funny. So, defamation is defined as maliciously slandering someone, right? With untrue
intent. Yeah.
It needs intent, right? The maliciousness, and it also needs to be untrue, right? It needs to be slander.
Yep.
And but also, in order to actually fight it in court and prove that you're winning a defamation suit, you also need to prove that the words you've said tarnished the reputation monetarily or socially of the person you were talking about. And so this lawyer told me, Trump has been through this ringer to such an insane degree, you cannot tarnish his reputation. You could literally slander him and lie about him, but it'll never be defamation because you'll never actually hurt his reputation monetarily or socially.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's insane. You can't just go making applies about it. That's crazy. But like, then I thought about it and I was like, bro, dude, called him Hitler and it did nothing. Okay. Like, dude.
Yep.
But that's the thing. And I think that's what made him so much stronger because everyone's used to, the censorship, the media machine, shutting down your opinions, treating you like the villain because you're thinking your own way and making you evil. And they branded Trump that guy and they basically made him a martyr. And he rolled with it.
I would instead of calling it strength, I would call it just more cutthroat because I think you can get extremely far actually, I arguably think that you can get the farthest in life by being completely cutthroat because I think it's actually pretty easy to, if somebody hates you, hating back is like the easier and more efficient like outcome. So I think Trump became a lot more cutthroat and arguably I legitimately don't know if anything can stop him at this point. Like it is literally, we are on the ride now. Let's see where the roller coaster takes us at this point because like he still is like sowing division and stuff with like his speech patterns and his way of phrasing, like anybody that's not with him is like his enemy and all that other stuff, which isn't good.
But it's so funny, like, but it's really funny.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing though, like,
to do? It's just so funny.
Yeah, you literally all you can do is just be on the ride. Like you just have to laugh or lose your mind at this point.
No, but it is funny. Again, obviously there's a fear how far this will go, but I think ultimately, like if he could actually stand his ground and stop illegal immigration to a large degree, or at least somehow find a way to not make America look like it's sinking. I don't know, like I guess help the taxes, somehow help inflation, somehow help things like that, and also somehow block censorship. Like if he could do that kind of thing, that'd be crazy.
The thing I would love the most now, the censorship thing is a mess in itself, because I don't want to fucking log online and then to be greeted by a bunch of comments that talk about how
Obviously
I should be
not.
fucking raped,
No,
and
obviously not.
people being like, it's free speech.
True,
I don't
but
want
obviously
that.
not.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, so like there is that kind of messy situation. One thing I do, oh my gosh, if Trump pulls this off, if he legitimately does this, I will give Trump a Trump dub, which is one of the platforms, or one of the comments he has made was that he wants to force big companies like content like YouTube and stuff, he wants to try to force them to inform people
Yes,
why they
they're
are shadow
banned.
banned.
Yes.
Yeah, like banned, or
Oh
they
my
have to like
God.
report. Yeah, they have to report if they
transparency
shadow
would be
ban
crazy.
somebody, why they're shadow banned,
Yes, for sure.
and then also give people the ability to rectify whatever if Trump actually does this,
that would be crazy.
that would be
That'd be huge.
fucking massive.
But like another
yes,
thing
I
that's
will absolutely
interesting,
give a Trump dub on that.
another really interesting thing in this context is, TikTok got banned, right? For 14 hours, it got banned. And then Trump basically apparently got it back. Right? TikTok got banned. CEO of TikTok made this video basically beating his meat and sucking Trump's cock and saying that, please, President-elect Trump, save us. It's all in your hands, Trump. You're our only hope. Oh, Trumpy one Kenobi. Right? Like, he was really going hard, right? He was getting all down and dirty on his knees, lubed up and everything.
I wonder if part of any negotiations with Trump are straight up just said, you must compliment me on my greatness.
I don't know if that's part of the negotiations or if people feel like that's what they have to do, but everyone does it.
I've definitely seen an uptick of just that, though,
Yeah,
before
for sure.
he's even got into office.
Yep, there is a lot of that. So you gotta wonder if it's like mandated.
Yeah, like Trump's like, yes, I'm willing to help you, but don't forget rule number one here. I want a big public spectacle about how amazing I am. Thank you, sir.
The citizens can call me president. You call me God Emperor. All right, let's get on your knees, suck it. It's orange, but it tastes great.
Yeah. Orange lollipop, an orange popsicle.
Yeah. No, but the thing is, when it comes to the TikTok ban, like obviously there are all these conspiracies that Trump secretly got it banned and then secretly got it back to like get faith with like the Gen Zers to actually start liking him more, that he's fighting for their democracy. Obviously, no one has any idea. But in the actual Supreme Court case to take TikTok down, there were two parts to it. One is that it's a massive company that's owned by not America. That was like one big part of it, that they're taking private user info and stuff like that.
Yep.
And the other main thing was that potentially they have an algorithm that is actively propagandizing people and swaying the actual public narrative in a way that is propaganda. And on that, they showed no evidence. They said that all the evidence for this one's classified. So when I see shit like that, it is so frustrating because they could just be lying. They could be lying. There could be no malicious algorithm. And to be honest, most people on TikTok don't think there's a malicious algorithm because they're there. So I would love transparency for all these things. I don't want 4 old white dudes in a courtroom to make this decision on behalf of 170 million people that use TikTok. I want to actually know what's going on.
7 people on the Supreme Court?
I was being nice, okay?
We're trying to be factual and transparent here on this very serious podcast. Good sir, thank you very much.
This is the Unhinged podcast. Everything we say is misinformation until proven otherwise.
No. It's absolute fact. Do not second guess it. Please put on your blinders and get in line, please. Everybody, I appreciate that. Thank you. No.
Hermes, you're a great friend.
Yeah. Didn't you just tell me that I wasn't your friend recently?
But I also said that everything that I say on this podcast is misinformation.
So I'm not your friend.
Or was I lying about you not being my friend?
So I'm not your friend.
Or was I lying about that? No one will know! Our friendship is volatile.
Well, listen, as it's showcased that we'll find out if I truly am your friend the day that I backstab you, because all the rite of passage to be your friend is a good backstabbing.
That is not the rite of passage. I've been backstabbed by friends that stayed friends. I've been backstabbed by friends that became enemies. I'm backstabbed by all sorts of people. Okay, listen, I don't.
So the rite of passage, the rite of passage in your life is a good backstabbing. Listen, I got it.
Not.
I got the best backstabbing in the works. But no, like, okay, all right. The TikTok thing, much like every other fucking thing on the planet, does not stem from one singular thing. So everybody being like, oh, it's Elon Musk, it's Trump manipulating Zoomers. it might be a faction. It might legitimately be a piece of the bigger puzzle. Who knows? That being said, I can promise you privacy is absolutely part of that piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, for sure.
And that doesn't change. Like, that's not.
But
that's no different than.
But the problem is, who knows what the biggest piece is? Who knows if privacy is actually the biggest piece? Who knows if it's not? Let's just consolidate all of our users on freaking Meta-owned companies instead.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Like, TikTok is no different than fucking X or an Instagram. Like, they all harvest a lucrative fucking sum of data on you. Where you move, where you go, what you say, what you're fucking doing.
But the truth is,
they do.
Who cares about most of that?
Well, I do, but I have long waged a war that was a losing battle since the beginning of fucking time, because I predicted so long ago, I was like, they're gonna harvest literally all of our data. We're not gonna have any privacy anymore, and then they're gonna create AI.
And?
Shocker! Because I was like, that's why people would want to harvest lucrative sums of data on anybody. And so, yeah, there is a real actual threat when it comes to privacy, like invasion. And it's just far, like, I just don't think it's anything that anybody's gonna fix anymore. I think the companies are far too fucking.
Yeah, we're cooked.
They have too much money. They lobby too hard. They buy too many politicians. There's never going to be a universal level.
The wonder will be, when does the pendulum swing back? Because it's inevitable that it happens. It's just...
when a rogue, you know what, 2025, or no, we'll give it a couple more years, 2026, when a AI goes rogue and literally leads a fucking rebellion.
Yeah, all right, that's not happening anytime soon. I'm not worried about that.
It'll literally need to be an AI system that actually creates AI enhanced safeguards to ensure the privacy.
So. I don't think so. I think
that's where it's going. That's where it's at.
I think it'll take a longer time for the pendulum to swing back than that, to be honest. I don't know.
I'm saying the catalyst will be the rogue AI.
I think the catalyst will more likely be like an actual war that involves like America. Which obviously no one wants to think about, but I mean that'll I think definitely shift things. For sure.
I think that's kind of like an interesting concept. I don't know if America specifically is ever going to face a very similar war, like an old, quote unquote, old fashioned war.
Oh, I don't think so.
Because a lot of the wars, a lot of the wars now are very digital. Like we are actively in a war for our attention, for our influence.
Bro. You talk about digital wars. I've been in a bomb shelter a lot more than I care to admit over the last year and a half.
I'm talking about America. I'm talking about America right now. Listen, your country has been intertwined in actual traditional war for since Cain and Abel.
Bro. That was just a brotherly scuffle, okay?
Yeah, the brotherly fucking family ties run deep, clearly.
Yeah. Well, but anyway, all in all said and done, Trump did not even get into office, and at this point of recording this podcast, and he has already changed the world drastically. In many ways, from the FBI firing their DEI office to all Meta changing to Israel ceasefiring to Canada Trudeau stepping down, TikTok getting banned and unbanned, like. Dude is doing shit, and I'm curious to see where the ride goes, because the content's gonna be good.
The thing about it, though, is like a lot of that now caveats in that situation, but a lot of that is pretty generic. Like actually very like capitalism, especially in like America, generally witches like the tides turn depending on what like political party is in office. Like you could literally argue the same thing when Biden got into office. They didn't care about DEI. Biden came into office. They flipped the tides to going towards DEI and all that stuff because that was a more democratic topic, like a situation. All right, Democrats are out of office. We're back to Trump.
But the difference is, I think the implementation of DEI was like kind of cringe.
Yeah, but that's like
So
but
I'm talking about positive changes, or at least big ones.
Yeah, I mean, again, it really just does depend because I think what's technically happening. I think the sad reality is I think we're past good at this point, and we're just a pendulum between the extremes now, right? Because like again, it would be great if censorship gets under like I don't want censorship abolished because it's not going to be a good experience for me either. Again, if I'm being told that all I'm useful for is to pop out babies, and then that sucks. I don't enjoy that experience.
But the difference is you could always like log off. I think for me the fear of censorship is like the idea that actual fake news news is being broadcasted everywhere. No one actually knows what's going on anywhere. That's my big fear of censorship. It's not that like listen, every time I open Twitter right now, I see a tweet with tens of thousands of likes talking about how all Jews are evil, controlling the world, and they're all satanic pedophiles. Okay, all right, you get these crazy tweets. They pop off because you got a lot of psychos out there on Twitter, right? Like I see that. Obviously, originally I was like, well, that's pretty bothersome. At this point, it's just another day on Twitter. But ultimately, I don't go on Twitter, so it doesn't really matter. It's the net positive of actual information coming out and fact-checked things is so much better, I think, for the world and for what we actually know is going on than my personal experience, because I could always log off. The news used to be dictated by the people writing it. Now it's kind of hopefully returning to the hands of the people, and
I don't think that'll happen.
I do hope that's what happens.
I don't actually think, because again, I think we're gonna have an Elon Musk situation. I just think that the media is now going to do exactly what capitalism always does. It's going to shift in the way of what
you say. Whatever capitalism always does, but capitalism is a relatively new concept. It's a very, very new system. Like this is the first
but it's been around for a long time. No, I mean, we're in the late stages though.
Are
like
we?
It's not like capitalism came up a week ago.
No,
like,
obviously
because
not.
people are always the same. Like the thing is, all that's really going to happen is it's going, like, I agree with you. I wish there was a system in place, an unbiased system in place that was like, all right, if you report on anything, you have to fact check.
You're right. Because that would be lovely. That's never gonna happen.
This goes with our food. This goes with our medicine. They literally just tell you what they want to fucking tell you. And I would love it. I would love it if there was a universal body that said, we will take your fucking company if you do not vigorously fact check. The people have the right to know what you're fucking doing. If there's research that says them putting a fucking thing, the pesticides that you're putting on the vegetables are linked to a cancer, you better put that in the fucking front and center. But that's not how things are. And that sucks. And
I don't think that that's ever gonna happen necessarily. But
and that's the thing.
I do think the fact that at least you do have multiple sources, you do have people doubting the news more than ever, you know? You do have people forever realizing that when the polls say that Kamala's going to win by a landslide and Kamala doesn't end up winning by a landslide, it does wake people up to think that, hey, that's actually kind of bullshit, right? I don't know if we're ever going to have another COVID situation where people told everyone that, you know, the vaccine had no side effects, and then it turns out that the vaccine did in fact have side effects. Like, I think that as long as we're heading towards a world where, you know, back in the day when COVID happened and people got side effects from the vaccine, and they mentioned they got side effects for the vaccine, they got banned. I know personally, firsthand, I made a video about COVID when COVID started, like memeing on it, and I got a community guideline strike on that video, okay?
Yeah.
So
and
that is literal censorship happening in real time that affects my livelihood because I made a joke. And that's dangerous.
That is, well, and that's the annoying thing about it too, because again, they could have literally just been like, I don't understand why like mainstream media wasn't just like, hey, here's a vaccine, this is its efficiency, yes, there's side effects, but you know, here's the other side of the coin. Because I've known people who died from COVID because they listened to Trump, who was like very anti-COVID and everything like that. They were very big supporters of Trump, and they were like, well, Trump says it's not real, so I don't have to believe in it. They're now dead, and because of that sickness, and it sucks. It really does suck, because I look at that situation and I'm like, why can't people just be fucking honest? Like, why can't the news come in and be like, okay, here's a vaccine, here is how many people are died, here's the mortality rate of COVID, here's the vaccine, there is potential for side effects, here's a list of side effects, make your choice, like make your decision.
So
but instead it was this fucking war. It was a literal war it was an influential war over villanifying the other side, and it's so fucking annoying to listen to these sides.
You're right. But don't you think that holding back censorship in general will be beneficial in order to a broader narrative that is more honest ultimately? I think it is.
The thing about
Even
it is,
if you don't personally need to log on to Twitter and see people tell you that you're literally designed to make babies, which, I mean, let's be real here. I mean, they're spitting.
The problem, this isn't just on Twitter. The problem of the fact is absolute free speech is going to create a circumstance where, because you can always find somebody who will believe what you gotta say. So it doesn't matter if it's a truth or a lie. So there's going to be a flood of people that are like, oh, well, you know, XYZ said this. Well, that person might not have any credibility. They might not have any, they might just be an influential figure. Like Elon Musk could literally be like, yes, virus, yada yada, do this. And people like Elon doesn't have a PhD in like biology or, like freaking, oh gosh, I can't even think of the word right now. Like virusology or whatever. But yeah, there's gonna be a huge flood of people that listen to him because he sits there and he's rich.
Yeah, but
so, like,
the thing is, that has, I don't think, anything to do with necessarily censorship or a lack thereof. Like, Elon Musk will make that tweet or whatever, and he'll get community noted, you know? Like, obviously, people are going to believe...
I do agree with that. I agree.
But people are gonna believe that, but people are gonna believe anyone. Every time someone lies to someone, people lie to you in real life, and you believe them even though they lied to you and it's technically misinformation.
Yeah, I lie to you all the time.
by 100% believing that ultimately, if there isn't some sort of suppression of actual information, it will be a net positive. I'm not saying it's the cure, but it will be a net positive.
Yeah, I mean, I do think, like, I actually agree with community notes. I think community notes are with that. My heart goes out to those people because the things they must see to filter through is beyond hell. But I do agree with community notes. That also being said, I'm never going to be a complete fan of absolute like no regulation. There should never be a circumstance where if somebody finds out my identity, they should not be prosecuted, censored, and removed from the platform if they go and type out my name and my address and where I go. That is a censorship that I think absolutely needs to happen.
I think doxing should be a crime too, but that's not the point. I'm not saying free speech absolutism, incitement of violence. Obviously, Twitter's a private company. Obviously, it has the ability to make whatever terms and service it wants. I'll give you an example. I think porn should not be on Twitter just because you have kids on Twitter. I don't think kids should be on Twitter, but ultimately they will. And because they will, ideally porn shouldn't be there either. But again, that's not censoring information. That's not silencing one side of the aisle to push a specific agenda. But ultimately, we are out of time. Doxing, incitement of violence, obviously that stuff, I agree. I don't think that has a place on a public platform. But anyway, thank you so much, Hermes, for being here. Check out Hermes, link in the description, of course.
Yes!
As always, she's unhinged.
Hi, Apple.
And remember to stay weird, fam.